All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Wake Up Crew. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy Ray G, joined today by my man Jay Rich. He's been taking off. He's been taking off a couple of these days, but he's back in the building, and we're here to talk some NBA prop bets over on PrizePicks for the Thursday, April 28th slate. We've got 3 games tonight. Dallas and Utah. We've got Phoenix and New Orleans. And then we also have the Philadelphia 76ers versus Jay's Toronto Raptors. Quick recap of the bets that I talked about yesterday. It was a really good day and almost was a fantastic sweep. 3 for 3. Grayson Allen first half fantasy points. Cash. Count that money. We also went, who else did I take? Grayson Allen. I know I took Jordan Poole and Nikola Jokic.
That was a bad beat.
Nikola Jokic, over 28 first half fantasy points. The game played out exactly how we predicted. The model was good. So that cash, count that money. And then Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole first half fantasy score was set at 15. He was at 12.5 with 22 seconds left in the half. He gets a steal. Boom, that's 3 points. Cashes. I'm happy. Dribbles up the court. Dribbles the shit off his foot. Rolls to midcourt. Steph Curry tries to get it. Steph couldn't pick it up. It goes out of bounds. Turnover, -1. Bad beat. 14.5 first half fantasy score for Jordan Poole. The betting gods giveth and then taketh away in the same damn play. It was literally about the last play of the first half. So that was a bad beat. But overall, profitable day. 2 for 3. Hopefully you tailed some of those early picks and got to cash that out. We went back to the model. We crunched the numbers. We grinded the data. And we're back with a couple of more plays for the slate tonight. I appreciate you tapping in. If you like it, subscribe to the content. Let us know what you're playing. But let's get into those picks right now.
For all the high-flying action, take a step back and relax. It's time to count that money. The NBA props. No look any further. You know what time it is. Presented by PrizePicks. NBA props. Let's
count that money, man. All right, Jay, your hometown Toronto Raptors are on the board tonight, and I know you like a player from that team, and you're going back to the well. Tell the people where you're going over on PrizePicks.
I got to do it, man. This is my guy. It's been the guy that everyone pegged last game. He didn't hit. I'm going back to the Gary Trent Jr. well. We took this number when it was at 18.5. It went up to 19.5 on the books last game. Nothing has changed. Fred is probably not going to play again. We'll see what happens. And even if he does, I'm not too concerned. Gary Trent Jr. has been cooking at home, and that's the big factor here. The Raptors are back at home. The crowd behind them. The place is going to be bananas, and I'm excited to watch it all happen. He's averaging 82.2 points per game over his last 5 games at home.
82?
On the 28.
All right. I was going to say, if he's averaging 82 points, we all need to smash the over. All right. 28 points at home.
He's averaging 28.2 points per game at home over his last 5, and it was 18.5 on the books last time. They gave us a discount, 17.5. It's 18.5 on the books right now. I am taking Gary Trent. This is a game he's going to be playing up to. He scored 28 the last 2 games against Philly in Toronto. It's going to be a madhouse. I want to be there, but it's too expensive. But maybe if I win some money on PrizePicks, then I could go to the next one. Game 7, Raps are going to win. I'm calling it now, Ray. I'm calling it now. How do you feel about Gary Trent? Are you with me? Are you with the Raptors? Are they going to win in 7? I need to know both.
I don't know if I'm with you if they're going to win in 7, but I like their chances right now. We have Gary Trent projected for 17.3 points, so a little bit under that. Jay, it'd be close for me. This is not data driven. This is one that I would personally stay away from. I get it at home, the crowd behind him. No Fred VanVleet tonight. It's going to be a heavy dose of Pascal, OG, and Gary Trent. Don't hate the number. Was close to it. Has hit this number twice in this series. Has hit the over twice, and we'll discount one of those games because we know he had the flu. But if you're feeling good about it, I'm just letting the people know this is not one that the data says take the over on Gary Trent. But I do like his running mate, Pascal Siakam. I don't like his points. I really want to see what his fantasy score is, and we're going to see how good our projection model is, because right now we have Pascal Siakam projected for 48 fantasy score points. 48 points fantasy score. We've got him projected for 25.4 points in this matchup, 9.2 rebounds, 6 assists with a par of 40.6. And if you look at Pascal Siakam's par right here on PrizePicks, points, rebounds, and assists, I just say par because it's easier than saying PRA. Siakam at 38.5 has hit this number in his last 2 games versus Philadelphia. He's at home. Again, no Fred VanVleet. I like this, man. Whether it's the par, whether it's the fantasy points scored, I'm just going to put this in as a placeholder for Pascal Siakam, but I do like the over par for him. I'm interested to see what the fantasy score is going to come out to. You know, we got him projected for 1.35 steals and 0.67 blocks. So if you can get you a steal, grab you a block in this matchup, the energy is going to be high. I do think Toronto gets it done tonight versus Philadelphia, so I'll be waiting to see what the fantasy point score is, and if it opens up 42, 44, I'm smashing the over on Pascal Siakam. I'll also, a little bit later, as I tell you guys every day, tap back in about an hour before tip-off. I know the NFL draft is tonight, but I will run the fantasy score for the first half to see if there's a little bit of an edge. What I'm doing with that is I'm looking at the minutes that these guys are playing in the first half, and if the model spits out an over based on those minute projections, I will drop something in the stats, in the chat, in the comments of this video. We went with the first half fantasy score yesterday. It was really favorable to us, so I want those high-minute guys that are playing a ton. Pascal Siakam, when I ran the numbers, Jay, he's playing what do we have him projected for minutes-wise? Pascal Siakam is playing 42 minutes per game in these playoffs. So when you're on the court that much, got no choice but to roll with you. So I like Siakam's par right here, but I will be tapping into his fantasy score. Where are you going?
Oh, man, I'm with you on Pascal. You know, I love all the Raptors today, especially those high-minute starters. But I'm going to be going to Jalen Brunson. And the reason why I really like Jalen Brunson today is because he's hit 20 points in every single game that he's played in the playoffs so far. Yes, some of those games without Luka Doncic, but regardless whether Luka is in or out, Jalen Brunson has been scoring 20 points. His number is set at 19.5. It's 20.5 on the books. This game's going to be on the road, right? So we know that's going to lend itself more to the star players. A lot of Luka Doncic, a lot of Jalen Brunson. That's the 2 primary ball carriers and scorers on this offense. Jalen Brunson's really taken a step forward, and I think that time without Luka has really benefited him and is carrying over in this series. You see the last game they played in Utah, he scored 23 points. I think we're going to see more of the same, and I think this is a great number, knowing that on the books it's 20.5 and it's juiced a little bit to the over. I think we continue to see some movement there, and I think Jalen Brunson at 19.5 is a great bet overall. Ray,
man, I love this one, man. We have him projected in our model for 21.2 points, getting 38 minutes over the course of these playoffs. I mean, he's averaging 28.6, and I know some of these games were without Luka Doncic, but those are the 2 scores, right? It's Luka, it's Jalen Brunson. I know the game is in Utah, but I do think Dallas gets it done tonight. With a lot of attention being focused at Luka Doncic, this is going to open up opportunities for Brunson, and at 19.5, I mean, I think you got to get this in early. I am one of the people that likes to wait a little bit because, you know, you just want to see what's going to come out. But, man, at 19.5, I wouldn't even be shocked, man, if there's an update to these point projections and Jalen Brunson ends up being a lot higher, or at least 20 points. They push it up a little bit in this matchup. Last player I kind of want to talk about, just looking at some of the fantasy score projections that we have in here right now. Interested to see where Donovan Mitchell's fantasy score opens up at. Right now we have him projected at 42.6. I'm leaning under on this one, man. He didn't have a good game. I think this is, for whatever reason, at home, Donovan Mitchell, man. I know he's going to get his shots up. I don't know with Mitchell in this one. You look at, you know, his points he hadn't hit his points total in his last 2. He's going to get his shots up. Let's take a look at Donovan Mitchell's par. Let's look at his points, rebounds, and assists for Donovan Mitchell, set at 35.5. He's been money. He's averaging 34.6 over his last 5 games, and we do have him projected at 37.3. We'll see. Donovan Mitchell, Brandon Ingram, another one I want to throw out there. We have his points, rebounds, and assists projected at 38.4. And on PrizePicks, I believe that number for Brandon Ingram is, where's BI at? Is it 36? Yeah, 36.5. Somebody just got added to the board. You saw it shift. Somebody just got added to the board. BI at 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Averaging 39.6 over his last 5. I feel good about these 3 plays. Gary Trent, Pascal Siakam, Jalen Brunson over their points. Pascal potentially over his par and or his fantasy score. And then Gary Trent over 17.5 points. Again, a couple of players that I'll be looking at. Luka Doncic, his points, rebounds, and assist total is set at 47.5. We have his par projected right there at 47.8, fantasy score at 54. So I believe PrizePicks will open this line right at about 54 when the fantasy score drops. Last guy I want to talk about, Jay, is big trust the process, right? Joel Embiid. We've got his par projected at 50.6 and a fantasy score of 60.4. And if you look right now on PrizePicks, 41.5 for Joel Embiid. I went with the data last time and took the over, and he did not come close to it, Jay. This number being so low, are you at all tempted to take the over 41 points, rebounds, and assists for Joel Embiid, or is this one in Toronto with the game environment you just want to stay away from?
Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great number. And so people are aware, this number is actually 2 points below the book line of 43.5. Now that book line is just a little bit to the under right now. But overall, PrizePicks is the one who are really giving you a lot of juice. If you think there's a chance that Joel Embiid really shows up in this game in Toronto and plays well, then there's a chance he goes over. For Joel Embiid, this is looking like it's going to have to be about a 27 point, 10 rebound, 4 assist type effort, right? That would get you right to that 41 number. So if you think he can get that, and realistically, he could get 12 or 13 rebounds, no problem. The problem is he hasn't been doing that lately. He's been scoring points in the low 20s. He's really struggling, and it's all because of that finger, right? And I mentioned that last time around. But if you do believe he can go over, this is a number that you're just not going to find. Joel Embiid is usually in the 45 to 50 range.
Yep.
For his fantasy score, he's always in the 50 range, probably closer to 60 at times when he's playing really, really well. Again, I don't believe it's the right game environment, and especially playing in Toronto, people need to understand, if you're not watching the games, he gets booed every single time he touches the ball, and it just seems like when he plays in Toronto, he is completely demoralized. He doesn't shoot. You see him shying away from rebounding. Ray, I do want to touch on one guy, though, and I want to see what your thoughts are on this. Where are you at with Scotty Barnes in this series? Because I think he was the one who popped up. You see his par at 25.5. And he's a guy that you think should be getting healthier and healthier. He's the primary ball carrier right now going up the floor. He's
ball handler.
He's a ball carrier, ball handler. We talk football, we talk basketball. You do a bit of everything. I mean, when you see him posting up James Harden, he's looking more like a ball carrier than a ball handler.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if you like this number at all for Scotty Barnes, knowing he's probably going to play a ton of minutes in this series. And then the other guy I wish we got a number for was Precious Achiuwa, because he is the primary defender for Joel Embiid. And he's been just money so far. He scored 17 points last game. So definitely look out for a number on Precious Achiuwa. We may not get it on PrizePicks, but if you see one, 10 plus to 12, I think he's good for that. But I am interested by Scotty Barnes. I'm curious your thoughts on him as kind of like you said, the primary ball handler who can do it all. He gets a ton of rebounds, can score on James Harden, has been money in this series so far, even with the ankle injury.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't run it yet, man. Like, I try to eliminate, for me, man, when we're doing this, I truly try to eliminate all the I'm trying to be very objective and eliminate the subjectivity and what I think. I'm just going to trust the numbers. And as I look at this, it doesn't look like I'd be inclined to take the over at all based on what he's done over the last 5, whether it's that ankle, whether it's him exerting a ton of energy on the defensive end. I'd have to run it to really tell you how I feel about it. Haven't run it yet. I may run that later on. We can take a look at what the numbers say. But just right now where we stand this morning at 9 o'clock, I wouldn't touch it. And if I did anything, it looks like the under would be the play on this one. But that home crowd environment, the energy in that building could lend towards some more opportunities for the Raptors. I'll just say what I feel really good about right now are Pascal Siakam, par or fantasy score once that drops. I like your Gary Trent pick. I'm not going to touch it, but I understand why you're going there. And then I love Jalen Brunson over 19 points. And let me just take a look what his first half point totals are for Jalen Brunson in the first half. We've got Brunson, 10.5 points in the first half. I mean, look at that. Averaging 14.6.
5 of 5.
I mean, 5 of 5. Even if you want to get it out of the way early, I'm in on Jalen Brunson, whether it's first half or overall. If you play the whole game, you get more opportunity first half. It could be Luka early. I really want to take Luka, man. I want to. He's rebounding, he's boarding, he's back. Best player in the NBA, and that is no hometown Dallas bias. Those are the picks that we like on PrizePicks. As always, come back about an hour before tip-off. If we find anything else that we like, we'll drop it in the comments. We don't want to force it. All of the picks that we talk about, outside of a few gut feels for the hometown Toronto Raptors, are data-driven. So, as we always say, if you tail, give them hell, and if we fail, don't bail. We'll be back tomorrow with more data-driven analysis, more data-driven picks. Enjoy the NBA tonight. Enjoy the NFL draft. If you like the content, let us know what you're playing. Subscribe, thumbs up. We'll see y'all tomorrow. We out. Peace.